and drones. And then I guess those concerns were blown off.
They might have blown him off and everything like that. And I know that they're investigating the Austin shooting suspect, saying that he might have been involved with some terrorist organizations and everything like that. So they're saying that he might have been a fan of Iran. I guess we'll learn more about that as well.
Yeah,
The Texas
and
GOPs.
the guy who's head of the U.S. Uh, terrorism, internal, in country terrorism, is a 22-year-old guy uh, who used to work in a grocery store. It's incompetence all over the frickin' place.
And apparently, Melania Trump is chairing the UN Security Council meeting on children in conflict amid the Iran strike. So I guess that's one of her pet causes and everything like that. So she is making history and pushes for peace through education and Iran amid the Iran firestorm and everything like that. So apparently, she's promoting the peace through education at the UN as the war with Iran is going on. So
Which is more goofiness on a day after we blew up and killed 150 girls in Iran at a
well,
girls' school. Um, yeah, it's just play acting and not very convincing.
no, it's
All
not
of it.
convincing at all. The whole thing sounds like a total mess and everything like that. So I don't quite understand it, what's going on in that space.
We
Maybe y'all
should
can.
check in with these guys,
Yeah,
Sharif and Sasha, and see what it looks like from their perspectives.
yeah.
From my perspective, we have to understand why and how it all started. So, U.S. intelligence had whereabouts of Ayatollah Khomeini and all his close advisors and so on in one particular location. And they relayed that information to Israel. Israel immediately reacted that we have to instantly attack all those targets and kill as many as we can in this location. America, United States obliged, but don't forget that the United States, they were involved in negotiations with the Iran, and the official from Oman was intermediary in these negotiations, and there were some technical decisions that had to be ironed out by Monday, and then that will be the end of all this crisis. However, once U.S. Um, gave this information to Israel, and Israel made a decision immediately to attack. Now, U.S. could not back down and say Israel, okay, you go and attack, and we'll watch what's happened. So America was involved. You cannot blame it on Israel because if United States wouldn't relay that information to Israel, there would not be Israeli attack or American attack or any attack. So on the one hand, U.S. is involved in peace negotiations. On the other hand, at the same time, while they are close to negotiate some kind of peace agreement with Iran, they are informing Israel, the arch enemy of Iran, for various reasons, and the good reasons, I must say. They inform them, so they are making two goals are incredibly inconceivable. You cannot to continue peaceful negotiations and at the same time start bombing these facilities where Ayatollah and his advisors were convening for a meeting. You cannot do two things, absolutely opposite things at the same time. So eventually, U.S. Some people are saying, I've heard that opinion that Netanyahu outsmarted Trump and therefore U.S. was involved in the war. First of all, you don't need Netanyahu to outsmart Trump. Any idiot can do that. So it's not a big achievement for Netanyahu to outsmart Trump. However, I think United States outsmarted themselves. So on the one hand, they are involved in negotiations with the help of Amman representative. I think it was the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And so that's one track. Here's another track, Israel. They have a meeting there. Let's bomb them. Israel says, okay, we'll start. You involved as well. So U.S. negotiating peace on one hand. On the other hand, it provokes and participates in the deadly attack. Now, what's happened with this? Another opinion is that Trump understands that there will be annihilation of his party on midterm elections. So therefore, he figured out that he has no other remedy as start some kind of a war, preferably a short one, preferably a victorious one, and show what a great man he is and so on. And this way maybe to actually become victorious in this midterm election. So if that's the case, fine. So he's doing what he knows how to do. He's a great strategist and commander-in-chief, and just name it. He's the greatest of them all. So we'll see what's going to happen. Right now, it doesn't look good. I'll tell you.
So I'm looking at a report from yesterday in the New York Times saying that on February 11th, Trump was wavering in his, he was thinking maybe the negotiations should be more important than going to war with Iran. Netanyahu spent 3 hours in the Oval Office last month persuading Trump to go to war. And we all know that Trump, doesn't, that it's often the last person he talks to that is able to persuade him to do stuff. He's easily swayed. Netanyahu worked him for 3 hours to get him on the war track.
Well, the calculus is pretty simple.
So you're going to be louder.
Really? Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. The calculus is pretty simple. You lost tariffs, right? In other words, you can't play with the tariff man anymore. So since you can't do the tariffs, you need to find a new toy. You already knew what the new toy was, which was bombing somebody or kidnapping somebody or something. Iran makes a perfect victim, a perfect foil for him, because he can't do the tariff thing anymore. So Iran was next in line. And so what happened to the Epstein files? That all got removed. What happened from the news? What happened to the tariffs? That all got removed from the news. So what are we all talking about today? The war in Iran, of course. So I predicted it. I even told you guys, I said, this is what he's going to do next, because this is his new toy. His new toy is, I'm commander-in-chief of the U.S. Army, because I can't be the tariff man anymore. So anyway, this is predicted. Now the question is, what is going to happen next? And that is remained to be seen with Iran and Iran's leadership. What surprised me and most of the U.S. is that Iran reached out and lashed out to all the Arab countries. They bombed Bahrain, they bombed Dubai, they bombed Cyprus, they bombed, Qatar, they bombed anybody they could find. In other words, they didn't care, which was dumb politically on their part. They should have limited it to Israel and the U.S., but they didn't. It just shows how
they are liquidating American bases in this country.
Well, that's
what they're doing, and they were talking about it for months. That as soon as Israel or United States will attack Iran, they will immediately attack all American bases in the.
That's what they're saying, Sasha. That's what they're saying.
That for months.
Their shrapnel hit the city of Dubai, okay, and that scared Shaquille. He's going to jump out of his airplane, jump out of Dubai, and leave. So that's strategically for Iran.
He's not going to jump anywhere because the airport in Dubai, as in many other countries, is closed. So Shaquille will stay at the airport in Dubai as long as it takes for him to
Well,
get.
that might be true, but politically, it was not a good decision by the Iranian leadership. Now, that also
It's
says
excellent decision because this is what they
Oh yeah,
are
they're the
America
I
and
agree.
Israel.
The-
They
the-
will attack American bases,
Okay.
and that's what they're doing very persistently. And there is no change of
No,
regime. So
no.
Ayatollah is killed.
No,
There are
there is a
dozens of
you
people
guys
who are
are
going to
wrong.
take all the commanding posts.
There
So
is
what's
a
achievement?
change of
What
regime.
exactly United States
My
has
Lord.
achieved? The prices of oil skyrocketed to $80. Stock
So what?
market is tanking. So what has he achieved?
That was the day.
Gas on the pumps in the United States
Look.
will go to $5-6 a gallon very soon. What has the idiot achieved?
Yeah. You've been drinking too much Canadian Kool-Aid, brother. let me
And
tell you
they refuse to negotiate with the United
let me
States,
tell you.
period.
Let
They
me tell you.
not even answering the phone calls. That's
Let me
it.
tell
The
you the
end of
reality.
payback time. It's a
Let me
payback
tell you
time.
the reality. There is regime change. It's already changed. You know why? They
Where
blew out
where
the
did you
foreign
see
leader.
How?
regime
No.
change in
They're
Iran?
gone.
Where is the
Neither
regime
will
change?
Hamas.
What has changed in Iran? Okay, so the guy, 86 years old, who would die
Gone.
anyway, any day.
And 40 of their other leaders.
So you
gone.
got bunch of
I
other
don't know why.
leaders
I
to
don't know why you
vie for
defend
his post. Nothing has changed in Iran.
Oh yeah,
America
yeah.
is losing
It
its
is.
soldiers,
It
its
is.
bases. The people around in this region, they hate America for starting this
No, they don't.
war.
It's totally
They do.
different.
Okay,
you're
Nick, for some odd reason, you like to take this position, but you're really taking a position of ignorance on this one. Just to point out, Nick, just to point out, just as Sasha's saying, it is very true. The people of there were people in Pakistan who actually attacked the U.S. embassy there because they were ticked off about what the U.S. did. What you're basically doing is you're parroting this whole talking point and everything, but it is an ignorant talking point. What Sasha's pointing out is very true. Also, one of the Iran's tactics right now seems to be that they are making the area, they are trying to make the decision a bad decision in everybody's mind. So they're lashing out at everybody. So the more the U.S. attacks and then the explosions hit and more people become collateral damage, Dubai doesn't want to see more explosions in Dubai or the airport have blown up. So the more the U.S. hits Iran, guess what? That means Dubai is getting an effect of that. Remember what the U.S.'s excuse was for going into this war? One of the multiple excuses they're trying to make stick against the wall. Marco Rubio said that Israel was going to attack Iran, so therefore the U.S. had to attack because Iran would have retaliated against the U.S. That makes absolutely no sense. But again, this was a war of choice. This was a war that Trump walked away from the actual deal that the Oman negotiators had. The Oman negotiators that the U.S. picked to help mediate the negotiations. There was a deal on the table. Matter of fact, there were two deals on the table. Trump decided to walk away from both and go to war. Everything that Sasha said is true. Gas is spiking. The average gas price has jumped 11 cents in just a day. A day. You can yawn all you want. You're speaking from a place of privilege, which makes you look ignorant and asinine in front of everybody who's actually watching. Because the thing is, you don't care about the fact that people cannot afford the actual things that they're going to the grocery store for. And now they can't even afford the gas, and which means a lot of the groceries and everything that you claim to care about is now going up. So speaking from a place of privilege does not help your position. It only makes you look worse. And I don't know why you're trying to do that. I get it. You came from royalty. You have money. You live in Spain. So you actually don't care about what's going on. But the people here do. And that's why the polling points out that the American people do not want this war, did not want this war. You can look up every poll. Rick can actually look up now.
In the first poll that came out had 27% of Americans approving of the war, 43% disapproving. The latest poll has 59% of Americans disapproving of the war. It seems like a dumber war and less well planned than George W. Bush's Iraq War. In that one, we achieved our objectives. We took down Hussein. There was regime change. The chances, according to Polymarket, betting markets, of regime change and are 40%. And much lower for that happening within the next couple months.
And
So-
check this out, Rick. You just said that the objective in the Iraq War was regime change.
Yeah.
We have no objective here.
No,
They
well,
claimed it was regime
they
change.
were
They claimed that it
hoping-
was nuclear weapons. They claimed that, oh my goodness, we're retaliating against a country that wasn't an imminent threat, but some other country is attacking them, so we've got to attack them. They've claimed multiple ballistic missiles. They've claimed there is no objective right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the Iraq War, real quick,
okay.
the Iraq War, how long did that take? That went on for multiple decades, correct? So now,
but we,
that
there
had
was,
an
hold on.
This
There was
doesn't.
there was Iraq War I, which was very well planned with overwhelming force. That ground war lasted. This was under Bush's dad in 1991. That ground war lasted 4 days. It was a coalition of 30 countries because Hussein invaded Kuwait, and clear objectives, overwhelming force. It went really well. And the idiots currently running this war, I think, had fantasies that this war would go as well as that war, that you just poke at Iran and the
Rick?
regime lies down.
Rick, how long
Are you done with?
How long were we in Iraq?
A little bit about what's going on.
8-10 years.
Thank you.
Are you
That's
guys
the
done
point.
with your-
So again, that had a clear objective, 8 to 10 years.
We're not done with your ignorant statements. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you can say what you want, but you're going to speak from a place of privilege and act like you know everything, but you don't
we
know
were in
this.
Afghanistan.
You're being told you're being educated, but you want to
No,
run away
you're-
from it.
We were in Afghanistan for
I'm just
20 years, and the Taliban has less than a fifth as many soldiers as frickin' Iran, which has 1 million available troops, the seventh
And that's-
largest military in the world.
And we have no objective there. We have no objective. And then even more so, if it's regime change, what are we doing to stabilize the country? We're doing nothing. Nothing at all. We just bombed them. What regime change? What regime
But
change
they
has ever been successful from a bomb?
They asked Trump, every time they ask Trump what his objectives are, he starts talking about the beautiful gold curtains in the Oval Office, or pointing out the new sculptures of Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson he put in the Rose Garden. It seems loony.
Yep.
Are you guys done?
All right,
with
let's
your-
give Nick a chance to wind us up again.
Yeah, because the thing. Okay, I'm gonna wind you guys up again. All right. In case you don't know what happened a month ago, that your friend, the Supreme Leader, who is now dead, killed 10,000 to 30,000 Iranians, his own people, who were in the street protesting. He maimed hundreds and thousands of women, cutting their eyes open and executing them. Okay, now that's tens of thousands of people, Iranians, who are dead because of the Supreme Leader, that you two liberals did not jump up.
Here we go. So
And
now let me respond to this real quick, because you're going to go on to some other point and transfer everything else. Let me respond to this real quick, because I want to shut this dumb argument down. Let me point out, nobody is defending the deaths or what happened to those individuals. Nobody's saying that
defending
should have
the
happened.
regime.
But check this out. Are we now going to do that in North Korea? Because that's happening there as well. Are we now going to when are we going to go into Russia and do that? Because Putin is doing the same thing. Oh, what's going to happen? I mean, are we going to now talk to Trump about the people that he killed in Minnesota? You're going to speak from this high perch. What about Saudi Arabia? You know that happens in Saudi Arabia too. You know that happens in all these other places and all these other cultural areas. But you're going to say, oh, we're justified in this one,
Why are
we
you
get to
talking about
ignore
that?
all the
Talking
other
about
ones.
the
So you
lines
have
of
no
the White
point.
House.
Either you're
Irrelevant.
going to stand on your 2 feet and argue that we should go into every other country doing the
No,
exact
no one
same
said that.
thing,
We're talking about
or you
Iran.
should just shut that whole argument down because it doesn't
we're
make
talking
sense.
about Iran, and you deflected this to North
No,
Korea.
I'm pointing out the facts.
Talk about
You,
Vermont, let's
you,
talk about
when are you going into?
Iron
Hey,
Curtain.
when
Let's
are
go
you,
talk
when are you going
about
into Rwanda? When are you going into Rwanda?
Okay,
When are you going into
for me.
Rwanda? Just tell me that. Just tell me when
Can
you're
you
going
just-
into the other places that are doing the exact same thing. You're not.
you won't-
When are you going to do anything to Russia? You're not.
Well,
So
when are you gonna-
again, you are just rambling, trying to find a justification for something that you did wrong.
So
you won't talk-
everybody's happy that Khomeini
Exactly.
is dead, that his wife is
Right.
dead, that another 4 dozen leaders of
Mhm.
Iran are dead. But it's crazy to think that this will topple the frickin' regime. It's a
It's
bad
not.
regime. It's killed hundreds of thousands of its people, maybe millions, over the past 46 years. They're shitheads. They took over a country that we liked, that was westernized, that had freedom, was a modern country, and walked it backwards for the past 50 fucking years. But you can't just tip them over by dropping a bunch of bombs on them. Sasha.
that calls
I
for
would like to
speculation.
mention something important. That this, what's happening right now in Iran, just unites Iranian people around its government. Even people who hated Khomeini, people who suffered from him, now because it's the foreign powers who are trying to inflict damage on Iran. It's the US and Israel. So they are now getting together to fight. And one interesting thing, even if you take proportion of killed as 10 to 1, so let's see, you kill 1,000 Iranians. It means very little because Ayatollah killed 30,000 Iranians and nothing really happened. It's a country of 92 million people population. So, but if US will lose 100 people by eliminating thousands of Iranians, but it will lose 100 people, it will be uproar in United States because United States, they care about prices for gas and for vegetables. They don't care about Iran, about 30,000 killed by Ayatollah or anything else. It's not US business, period. It's a business of Iran and Iranian people. And
That calls for
And
speculation.
check this out:
All three of you guys
the cause for speculation that
And
real
not
quick,
only that, you're
what you
creating-
had called earlier for cause for speculation, Nick. You would try to stop Rick when he
That's
talked
the
about
reason
the bombs.
Trump
Hold
went
on,
off.
you tried to stop
All you
Rick.
guys are
You
out
tried
of
to
it.
stop Rick from talking about dropping bombs on it, and that's not going to change. That's not going to create regime change. You tried to jump in and say there's cause for speculation on that. You
It
like to
is.
use
And
that
those are
because you think it makes you sound educated because you're using lawyer terminology. Now, let me help you with this. Can you
Anybody's
point out?
terminology.
Can you
You're
point
making
out?
up what you
Can
believe
you
the
point
person's
out?
gonna
Can
do.
you point out, based on our history, based on the global history, when regime changes come based on just dropping bombs like that? There is no historical
Are you
precedent for
familiar
that.
with World War II and Nazi
There is,
Germany?
were there troops on the ground in World War II? Good Lord,
yeah,
you're not good on
yeah.
history then.
Are you aware of Japan, Jatovi? I mean, do you read any history at all? Or do
You don't seem to read history at all because when that World War happened and dropping the bomb on Japan, that didn't really end the war, did it? Did it end the war?
Go on and on.
Did it end the war?
You know, yeah.
Did it end the war? Did it end the war? No. No, it did not.
There are different points. The bombs didn't even necessarily end the war. What I've heard that what ended the war is that Japan was afraid of Russia coming in from the north in an invasion. So,
No, I think you're listening too much liberal lunatics.
but we're talking
That's your
the only.
excuse. Okay.
So wait, so we're talking the only 2 atomic bombs
100,000
ever
people
used in. Are you so?
War over.
So I agree. So no, wait, I agree with Nick here. If we were willing to drop
Well, they-
nuclear weapons on Iran, we could probably topple the regime.
Duh.
Should we drop nukes on Iran? Should we be, for the first time in 80 years, should we just like decide that if we can't get our way, we're just going to nuke cities and kill 100,000 people at a time?
We'll do whatever it takes to win the
So
war.
therefore, Nick is calling for the deaths of innocent individuals.
You do what it takes to win a war, Jato.
That is that. There you go. Now we are where we are.
Let's
What
Sasha
is your-
go here.
What is your description of ending the war? What are the U.S. objectives that once achieved
Canadians.
end the
They
war?
already killed
What are
30
the objectives of
Iranians.
U.S. to win this war? How you figure out that, oh, right now we can stop the war. We achieved our objective.
We can end it too.
These objectives, how you regulate whether to continue the war or stop the war, what is that? It's never been explained to American people, to Congress, to anybody. It's all in the head of the criminal. So how you describe where is the end of the war?
As they said, it's over when I say it's over. Okay.
So that's not an objective.
Friends,
That is just basically you're just going out and killing people. So that tells me where your stance is. You don't really. That is speaking from a position of privilege. That is speaking from a position of ignorance. That is speaking from a position where you don't care about anybody else's life. You don't care about anything that you do. You're saying that it ends when you say it ends. That leads to no more. That just leads to more death and destruction. That is horrible.
You're privileged too, Jatovi. Go to Bangladesh and then tell me you're not privileged. Come on. You know?
We haven't heard
So
from
your argument now is that your ignorant argument now, because you have lost this whole discussion.
No.
Your ignorant argument is, well, you're privileged too. You should go to Bangladesh and say you're not. That is one of the dumbest things.
Thugs rule.
Just as when you're trying to troll my Facebook page,
No.
better than this, Nick.
You're making up a future rule, and it's okay. You have no problem with 30,000 Iranians dying. You really
You
don't.
already said you wanted to kill them all. I said I have a problem with it.
Anybody who's-
Your words were you wanted to unalive all these individuals because, quote unquote, whatever it takes. So again,
You know,
Nick, your arguments are poor.
Well, hold on. No. We avenged
Not
the
before
death
they-
of those people, but we are not able to change the regime. We blew up 4 dozen leaders of this cruel regime that kills its own people. But there are people ready to take their place. And
Well, that's
we
you had weak
probably
Joe
can't.
Biden there, so come on. You had the weak Democrats. Of course, there was no regime change. The regime change is
Wait. Nick. See, this is how desperate you are. Rick just pointed out
Then there's
Rick just pointed out the amount of individuals that have been taken out in this war currently.
Weak Democrats.
what did
And
Obama
then
do
you just jump to Joe Biden?
Joe Biden and Obama.
That has no. Rick, Nick.
This regime has been in place for 46 years. That's under 9 presidents, Republican and Democrat. And so if you want to say weak, then like the last.
Talk to me, Jatovi. Talk to me.
You mean to talk to you? Okay, let me point out, Nick, because you did not hear what Rick just pointed out to you. You just want to sit over here and try and overtalk me, but that's not going to work because I can talk further, I can talk longer than you, and I can talk louder than you. So please take a drink. So keep going. You're not listening at all because you don't care. You're trying to filibuster. I don't play that game. You know that. So again, listen up. Rick just pointed out to you that this administration, this actual government, this regime has been intact for multiple decades. It's been there for years. So in Democrat and Republican administrations, it's been there. It was there in Trump's first administration. So to argue that, we've taken out 40 people, but it's all because of Biden, that makes absolutely no sense. Because honestly, this actual regime started layering up that after the first attack that happened when they dropped bombs trying to attack the nuclear sites. So it became like a 7-layer. It became 7 layers deep. So therefore, everybody is replaceable and nobody's irreplaceable. So the more you sit here and claim that, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. No, it doesn't work that way. And there has been no time in our history that dropping bombs does anything regime change wise. It doesn't happen. And then everybody is pointing out to you all the facts on the ground, but you just wanted to, oh, well, that's just, let's talk about it now. It doesn't make any sense. So you're better than this. Stop trying to troll and stop trying and just have an educated discussion. You know that.
You're crying about the poor people that are starving in America when Obama gave the Iranians.
No, they didn't. That's a lie. That's not true.
$2 billion.
That is not true.
You're
on your own network lying.
Let Sasha talk for a second here.
I would like to mention something. So, Nick, your theory is based on premises that America or the United States is so much superior to Iran that whether it will take 4 weeks or 45 weeks, it still will prevail and it will achieve its goals, which you didn't even state what are the goals. Let's imagine the change of regime is one of the goals. Okay.
Yes.
Now, Nick, you forgot that China hasn't said its word yet. Russia is on the side of Iran. So do you think United States, however strong they are, will take on China and Russia? Absolutely not, because US has very limited supply there. This the Gerald Ford and all this avia group, they can be destroyed within minutes if needed. So America is very vulnerable. They are very, yes.
You cannot be serious.
Trump was dreaming about state visit to China early April. He's already shown the door. No more state visits for you, charlatan. You keep fighting in Iran. That's where you are. And let's see what you will achieve in Iran. I'm very skeptical, in spite of U.S. enormous advantage, supposedly. I really don't see how it will translate in any time soon victory. Absolutely not. So
China's scared to death.
vulnerable. Don't believe that U.S. will go and the jump and whatever it takes. No.
We're good at this.
U.S. is losing its last powers that it has is a soft power, it's economic power. It's all losing that as we speak. Canada shut the door, close the door on U.S. They're not participating even in negotiated so-called NAFTA deal and sometimes July. Canada is not going to even participate there. They don't need American products. They don't need American cars. They don't need American weapons. They don't need anything, whatever America produces. Canada does not need. Out. Leave us alone. Just go and fight Iran or somewhere, change regimes somewhere else or whatever. We don't need you guys. Bye-bye. That's what's happening.
Well, of course we don't need Canada because Canada doesn't have anything except snow to export, and we have plenty of that.
Canada is one of our largest trading partners. What are you talking about?
Canada is like irrelevant in the equation of the world.
No,
What about
European Union? What
about China, Japan, Australia, whole world against you guys? You are digging yourself a grave where you are going right now. Bye-bye.
No, we're America with a $1 trillion defense budget. Ain't worried about any of those things.
Yeah.
Let's talk
$10 billion budget by, and what it does in Iran. Iran has a fraction of U.S. war budget. And what does it do in Iran? Show me what does it do. You kill Ayatollah in the first war, and that's it. What else have you achieved in Iran? What else have you achieved? Okay, you're losing now your servicemen, you're running out of ammunition.
Okay, liberal loonies. Listen up. Liberal loonies from Canada and the U.S. Liberal loonies, listen up. Half of all of Iranian's military has already been vaporized. We are going to do the
What?
other.
No, that's ridiculous. They have
That's
a million.
not true.
It's
Just say
over
random stuff, Nick.
half of it. Go! Just do you guys?
You just say random stuff. That's
Half of it
that's your
has
point.
been
You just say
vaporized.
random stuff now.
We're going to finish up the other half. Let's listen to.
You just say random stuff.
What they say. Let's listen to Sharif.
What's your law?
Yeah, this is very interesting. Yeah, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, this is very interesting discussions. And right now I'm in Asia, I'm in Bangladesh, so I'm very close to this conflict of Israel, Iran, and the Middle East. There are a few things I want to go for what I get from these discussions and some practical experience I have from the field. I'm just sharing these things. Number one, if you see this US initiative, change Iranian regime, and what they did in the previous, even what they did in South America, uh, uh, they are just kill Ayatollah in Iran and kill some of the general and army chief and the senior politicians, and they thought they could change the regime. And I think that US do not have preparations, and Israel do not have preparations that Iran will react in this way. Because Sasha, you are correct, because Iran actually attack all of the US base in Middle East, like in Qatar, like in Dubai, like in even Saudi, like in Oman, all of the countries. Then come to the politics. If you see this, what you discussed, Mr. Nick Palveda, that yes, Iran kill this Ayatollah, they kill around 10,000 Iranian people. But when they say USA try to change the regime and USA do these revolutions, I believe the Muslim community, they trust these things. But what Ayatollah did, this is definitely wrong because he killed a lot of Iranian people. Second, when Ayatollah actually killed by the USA, actually Ayatollah win because the Muslim world political philosophy and the religious philosophy is different compared to the Western world. Because Ayatollah said, "I want to die. I want to be shaheed. Like I want to I want to die, and I want to fight for Islam." And USA give him these opportunities, and for that issues, now Ayatollah become more powerful leader after his death. He become more powerful leader. How? Even though you discuss with the Saudi people, you discuss with the Qatar people, you discuss with all of the 57 Muslim countries, everybody respecting Ayatollah Khomeini because he died, because he's sacrificing his life for this Iran regime. So 50% of the USA activities or USA objective is done, and I want to say they're successful because they want to try to change the regime. But there is another issues why Iran attacked to all of the US base, because not only USA, there is Saudi Arabia and Israel. They push to the Trump administrations. They support to the Trump administrations to kill Ayatollah. It's not only Trump decisions because there are a lot of lobbies and maybe USA getting a lot of funding and other things from Saudi Arabia and from Israel. And now what is happening after this death? All of the attack in these things, it's look like USA is losing control over Middle East through two way. Number one, Hormuz. The world 40% of the energy sources come through the Hormuz. And
Strait of
Iran
Hormuz. It's a seaway. It's
yeah,
they closed it down.
Iran actually closed this area. Even last year when I was in Stanford, that time I see that California, their energies and other things, they have a strong dependency on Hormuz. Second things, when they attract to these Islamic countries, this Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and these other countries, what happened? The local communities, Islamic communities, they are trusting Iran. That is number one. Number two, USA losing control over Middle East. And last 20 years, like 2 decades, how USA built up their infrastructure, their military control, their control over Middle East energy markets, Middle East politics, and all other things. Honestly speaking, it's look like they are losing in 2 ways. Number one, with the local community trusting, and they do not trust this USA. On the other hand, how we see this USA capacity in terms of militaries, it's not true. We are observing with some drone, with some missile, USA destroy, Iran destroy all of these military base in other things. And I'm observing many of my friends, they're American friends, Israeli friends, they are in the trouble. It's in Dubai, Qatar, in Saudi Arabia. It's a big economic, political lose of Trump administrations in Middle East. In the long run, I believe, and you can see that USA may lose their control in the Middle East, and Israel will face more trouble with these revolutions, because it's very difficult, because Iran is top 10 nations, like 5,000 years. They have a 5,000 years of history of politics.
I have numbers. So I have the numbers of dead in Iran since this conflict started. According to the Red Crescent, which is the Muslim equivalent of the Red Cross, they say 787 people in Iran. That this is combined military and civilian have been killed. The Iranian government says 3,100 combined civilian and military people have been killed. None of this is even 1% of the military. Nick said half of the military has been vaporized. No, not even 1/2 of 1% has been taken out.
Check the assets, Rick. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, no, we blew up a lot of their navy. We sank like 9 of their ships.
Half of their assets have been destroyed. Not their military, half their assets. So go chat GDP and check that out. Because
okay,
so this is the fun part about the fun.
The fun part is this:
is that Rick is telling you that you had stated that half of the military was gone, and then you came back.
One thing, Nick, I have a question to you, Nick.
We're not going to lose it as long as
you don't think after this Vietnam War, after this Afghan War, after this Iraq War, USA should change his military and political strategy? Because all of the places actually in the long run USA lose. In Vietnam, and even in Afghanistan, even in Iraq, because yes, in the short run,
we did in Afghanistan what the Russians could never do. We tamed Afghanistan, and we had it under control. We had it under control until the Democrats got in.
It was never under control.
We lost it.
All right, so I looked up. I looked up.
That is a lie.
The only way America will fail is if the Democrats and the loony liberals win.
That is a lie.
But, all right, here's what AI tells us. When you ask AI, what percent of Iranian military assets have been destroyed? Nick is right in one narrow but important category. The IDF, Israel, and U.S. forces estimate they have destroyed approximately 50% of Iran's ballistic missile launchers. These are the launchers that you use to launch missile.
A couple of things.
Rick, I just want to help you. Because many of the politicians, defense people, you are right. They are in the 5-star hotels. They are in this all of the civilian societies and others, and Iran is trying to attack these communities. I'm not supporter of this war. Most important thing, I'm not supporter of this war or anything. But it's look like in a long run, USA may lose the control over Middle East, and what they are achieved last 20 years or something, they may lose. That's for sure. And it's
Ain't going to happen.
Let me point out a couple of things.
Dr. Sharif, let me tell you something. They also may win
No,
control of the Middle East, and that's what scares the
No.
Middle East.
I can give you the guarantee,
Win
like
in the Middle
control
East.
over Iran and Iran regime, because Iran is not Venezuela. Iran is not, honestly speaking, I know all of the top scientists from Iran, all of the top people from Iran. Iran is top 10 nations in this world. It will be logically very impossible for Israel and for USA to take control over Iranian people, because Iranian people is very intelligent. They can build any technologies, even in these jungles, in their own lab or anything. And it's not like Venezuela. You cannot be so much confident.
And I know some of the top.
Ironically speaking,
Iran is a very capable nation, very, very capable nation.
just
It's not
to point out,
Venezuela. It's very capable
Yeah.
nation.
just to
Iran
point
is
out,
very
it's
capable.
pretty ironic that the white guy on this panel is talking about colonizing. But just to throw
Absolutely.
that aside, the thing is,
I
what
think
Dr. Sharif
colonies
pointed
are a
out,
good idea.
what Dr. Sharif pointed out about Vietnam, there was no winner in Vietnam. You want to sit here and say that we won Vietnam? That's ignorant.
The Vietnamese
There was
people
no-
love us. What are you talking about?
Wait. Let me finish. With Afghanistan, there was no
Yeah.
winner in Afghanistan. The problem that we ran into, of course, when Trump pulled out the extra soldiers, made the deal with the Taliban at Camp David, and then decided that he was going to that actual deal was that we had to leave at a particular date. Yes, the actual removal was a disaster, but we had no choice. We had to leave. There was a deal. We had to be out at a particular time based on Trump's deal that he made with the Taliban.
And my last question that Trump administrations always says America first. But I'm very sorry, I see at least 6 American soldiers died. And also Trump said that more soldiers will die in this war. So how come a president said America first, and he sent his soldier to the and they are killing in this war? So is it the way of you make your nations? I believe that his strategy Israel first. It's not America first. I'm very honest with you. He is actually supporting Israel for money, maybe for all of the bad deals, and he is killing American people for that.
Well, it's because if
At least
there wasn't
American
such
people are dying
tyranny-
in this. What's your thoughts? American people are dying.
Okay, if
How
there
come
wasn't such tyranny over in Iran, where the supreme leader killed 10,000 to 30,000 of his own
He's
people,
bad. Okay, he's very
protesting.
bad.
He
I agree with
maimed
you.
hundreds
He's
of
bad.
thousands.
But you are
of people.
civil, right?
And the United States
good
of
nature.
America deems him to be
You're
a
not
threat-
listening to what
threat
Dr.
not
Sharif
just
said.
to his own
You're actually
people, but to
just
the whole
you're
world.
filibustering now, Nick. You're
The
not
whole
listening or
world,
answering the
Sharif.
question. Answer
And
the
you know what?
question that you were asked and not sit here and filibuster. You parroted this talking point that's already been debunked.
Okay.
So please
So the thing is,
answer
the
the
U.S.
question.
will eliminate the threat.
Answer the question.
My issue, war
am,
is
but
not
you
a
always talk
solution.
over me, Jacoby, so I
Nick,
just-
war will never be a solution for civil society. War will never be a good solution for good business world. War will never be a good solution for humanity.
It
War
is a
will
good
never be a solution for politics. We
just
need
should
to
have
do
done this a
more
long
dialogue
time
like this. What you are doing, I appreciate it. We need to develop more dialogue like this, open dialogues, open discussions to solve all of the war and other things. And definitely, I appreciate it, Nick Palveda. But thing is that war never be a solution for civilizations, and that is the things. USA has lot
I
of good
have a
things.
solution. I
Okay.
have a solution. Our time is up, so we have to go. So we'll fight this war another day, and we'll see you tomorrow on World Edition. Bye bye.